What's up guys, it's Kristen here today with my August TBR. So this month's TBR is going to be kind of similar to what I did last month, where I have a couple of books that I am definitely going to read, but then I'm also going to leave myself open to some mood reading and show you a selection of books. The difference though is that last month I did the try a chapter tag, and this month I decided to just go to my library and browse around and pick up any book that caught my eye, but also I really tried to find books that have been on my TBR list for the longest. You know, those books that you've been meaning to read for years, but somehow they always get pushed back. Well, I'm finally going to try to read at least some of those. But I've grabbed more books than I can probably get to this month. I mean, who knows? We'll see. So I would love if you guys would comment down below and give me your suggestions on what you think I should read. If maybe you've read some of the books and you thought they were amazing and I would love them, or maybe if they just sound really interesting to you and you would like to hear my thoughts on them, please, I would love your guys' help with this. But first we'll start off with the couple of books that I will definitely be reading this month, the first of which is Guns, Germs, and Steel, The Fates of Human Societies by Jared Diamond. I am hoping to be buddy reading this with Hannah from Craving Books. I love her channel. I will link it down below. This is essentially the history of human civilization, if you can get a topic more broad than that. It starts in, I think, about 11,000 BC, when all humans were essentially still in the Stone Age, but it's looking at the way in which different regions and societies developed at different rates, trying to debunk the myth that because certain societies and cultures progressed further than others, that has something to do with biology or race. And the only other book that I am definitely going to be reading is Arcadia by Iain Pears. If you watched my try a chapter tag, this was the book that I picked, but it is about 700 pages, though it's not the end of the month yet as of me filming now, but I don't think I'm going to be able to finish it in the month of July or even make a significant dent in it, so we're going to continue on in August with this one. And essentially it is about an author who is writing about these different worlds, and it really is a book for book lovers, and there's a million different genres covered in it. So now for the selection of books that I got from the library, they're all right here. As I said, I don't think I will be able to get to all of these in the month of August, so that's why I said I would really love for you to leave your recommendations down below. The first of these is definitely one of the books that have been on my TBR for the longest time. Every time I see it in a store or at the library, I say I'm gonna get to it, and I don't know why I haven't, so I think I will definitely get around to The Glass Castle by Jeannette Wells. This is her memoir about her very dysfunctional but also unique family, and I've just heard nothing but praise for it. Then I also picked up Rooms by Lauren Oliver. This is essentially a ghost story about a family living in an old home that is being haunted by the people who lived there previously, and I don't think I've ever read just like a straight up ghost story, so I'm very intrigued by it. So Lauren Oliver, she is most known as a young adult writer, and I've only read her one other book, Delirium, and I was not a fan of it whatsoever, so I've always been a little bit hesitant, but this is one of her adult books and I've heard great things about it. Then of course I picked up some children's lit / middle grade, the first of which is James and the Giant Peach by Roald Dahl, and I just realized that the only Roald Dahl I've ever read is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which is obviously one of my favorite books of all time, but how is that the only one of his works that I ever read? I have no idea, and I haven't seen the movie since I was a little kid. I'm looking forward, and obviously a children's book, it's very short, so I'm sure I will be able to get around to it. And the other middle grade book that I got is The Girl Who Soared Over Fairyland and Cut the Moon in Two. This is the third book in Catherynne and Valente's Fairyland series. These books are just absolutely gorgeous and comfy, cozy reads, and I hope that the third book will live up to the other two in the series. I also picked up The Particular Sadness of Lemon Cake by Aimee Bender. I've had this one on my radar as well for a while now, and it is apparently about a young girl who discovers that anytime she eats something that someone has made, she can taste their emotions. The whole thing anything with magical realism mixed with elements of food is like home base for me. That is what I love, so I'm sure I'm going to enjoy this one. This one also always reminds me of this Sarah Michelle Gellar movie from the 90s that I think I saw like one time, but for some reason it has stuck with me, and I think it had something to do with her cooking and people tasting emotions in it. I'm sure nobody knows what I'm talking about right now, but if you do, please comment down below so I don't sound like a crazy person. I swear it does exist. And another book that I have been meaning to read for absolutely years, maybe about 10 years at this point, is The Girl with the Pearl Earring by Tracy Chevalier. Pretty sure I first heard about this book when the Scarlett Johansson movie adaptation came out. It is the fictionalized account of the story behind the famous Vermeer painting, and I've actually just heard great things in general about the author Tracy Chevalier and her work. And last but not least, I picked up The Museum of Extraordinary Things by Alice Hoffman. This is another sort of magical realism, historical fiction type book. If you haven't picked up already, that I really like that genre, and this book is set in the turn of the century in New York, which happens to be a particular time period that I really enjoy reading about, and it is about a young girl whose father runs a quote-unquote freak show at Coney Island, and because she's a good swimmer, she plays the mermaid. And then apparently there's also a love story involved where she meets a young Russian immigrant, and it just sounds like everything I love. But the thing is, the reason why I've been hesitant to pick it up, even though it's been on my radar for a while now, is because I have read another Alison Hoffman book, Practical Magic, which also happens to be one of my favorite movies of all time. And this is one of the few times that I will ever say that the book did not live up to the movie for me. And maybe I went into it with unrealistic expectations, but it just didn't grab me at all. So I've been hesitant to pick up any other of Alice Hoffman's books, even though they all sound great. So that is it for all the books that I hope to might get to in the month of August. And again, I would really appreciate if you guys would comment down below some of the books that you think I should read, or books that you would like to hear my thoughts on, because obviously I did pick these slightly at random and I don't know exactly what I want to read, so I need your help to sway me one way or the other. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye!